when you're treating people, you're trying to find out what's happening behind the scenes and help them to identify. So people have to be really honest with themselves in order to have successful treatments, it seems like.
Well, what's nice about the techniques that I use is you don't have to go back and relive everything that ever happened to you. I can find it subconsciously. It's very private. I just ask them, think about a time when you felt adored. And the first thing they might think of was, I've never felt that way. I don't know what that means. And that's okay too, because the subconscious is already working. One time somebody asked me, think of a time when you felt joy. And I'm like, well, I didn't have enough joy when I was a child. That was the first thing I thought of. But that doesn't mean it's wrong either.
Right.
It's just what I thought of. My subconscious is already doing something. See, and I can't get to it consciously because it's subconscious.
By identifying these memories and these emotions and these things that we have behind the scenes, we're in a position to clear them.
Yeah, and it's a really simple
not have
process.
them affect us anymore.
Right, and to not have them affect our lives. When I ask people, when they come in with a specific problem, I always ask them, why do you think you have this problem?
I'm wondering how much you've seen Western medicine start to adopt some of this treating of the whole person, because it seems like if someone comes in and they have chronic headaches and they just say, okay, well, are you sensitive to light? Are you, they just ask questions about that. But they don't find out that, oh, your husband lost your job and you're worried about paying your mortgage and you've got another child on the way.
Job bear, finances bear. And we're talking about a bear coming into the room and us getting scared.
Yeah.
And then the bear leaves and we're supposed to calm down.
Right.
But if it's job bear, relationship bear, finances bear, we're scared all the time.
Yeah.
Lots of people are.
And then it's a chronic.
Chronic. Because the body memorizes that pattern of behavior. Just like people who drive home from work, they don't know how they got there. They're thinking about the kids or the groceries or the next thing they're supposed to do. And if I ask them, well, when did you hit mile marker or whatever? They'd say, I don't know. It's all subconscious. This is a pattern that's been memorized. The body does it subconsciously, and now it doesn't have to think about it anymore. So you can use your thinking mind to think about all these other things because the subconscious pattern is happening. I don't see much of that happening in Western medicine. I guess it's happening more because the people who come to me are people who are frustrated with that situation. And they're like, they just give me pills. They just gave me PT. I'm not doing anything. In fact, I just had a conversation with a physical therapist the other day, and I said, I understand this patient's progress is plateaued. She said, yeah. I said, do you think it might have something to do with the fact that she's not happy in her life? She said, that's exactly what I think. I said, well, I'm here to concur with you that that's what's going on. And she said, I always think that. When somebody's progress stops, it's because the problem isn't in their body. The problem is outside of them and in their head. And it doesn't mean that it's psychosomatic. It means that that's what's keeping them from going to all the way to healed.
So what is something simple that you could say to anyone in general about starting a process of healing in their lives? Because it sounds like it comes from inside the person, right?
Yeah. It's as simple as this. Close your eyes and think of a time when you were feeling the most unconditional love you can possibly remember ever feeling. And that's when healing starts. When you're thinking about those things that are creating the feeling of unconditional love, doesn't it feel good?
Yeah.
I have a rule. If something bad happens, you can tell it 3 times and then you're done. You can't tell it again. You know what happened the other day? So-and-so hit my car, and boy, I was so mad. You can tell it 3 times, and then that's enough.
Ooh, that's a tough rule.
Yeah, it is. But you know what happens? People use that and they go, wow, it's really freeing. I just don't talk about that anymore. And it's not like it didn't happen. It's just that I'm not going to give it any more weight in my life. Is this what I really want to tell people about myself?
It's interesting because I think part of what happens when people get caught in negativity is that they're looking for it to be validated. They're like, isn't that terrible that traffic accident happened?
Commiseration.
Yeah.
Misery loves company.
Misery
train.
Oh,
yeah, we have all those nice, little idioms that we can use about that, aphorisms. Misery loves company because then everybody can be miserable with me.
Yeah.
And I won't feel so alone. But you always, a lot of people have that one friend that says, "Oh, well, why don't you just cheer up?" And they try to get you out of that feeling, and people resist. It feels normal. And we were talking before about how, hearing some of this stuff, people are going to go, "No, I don't have that much power," but they do. A lot of people don't want to take responsibility for that power because you have to learn how to use it. That's what I do. I teach people how to use that power in their life.
Yeah, well, we haven't been told that we can fix ourselves, and
No, you've been told a big lie. And the big lie is that you can't do it by yourself. You have to have help. You probably can't do it all by yourself. No man is an island, right? A lot of people have their ego in the way. And this stuff works best when there's no ego.
it's a tall order for everybody.
Well, it works best for me when there's no ego. It's okay for the person on the table, but I have to be pretty much, okay, this is just working and I'm just here listening. My job is to listen and report back to you.
I like the idea that letting go can help us.
It's a big one.
Can help us heal. Because I think everyone's had that feeling of relief when they've kind of, made up with a friend. They've been fighting about something, and it's sort of like, oh, I feel so much better.
Oh yeah.
Sort of what you're saying.
I have a chalkboard at home that says release, let go, allow. Because you have to release the past. You have to let go of your idea of how it's all going to work, because it's not up to you. And you have to allow it to work. You have to allow life to happen. If you try to make it happen, how happy do you think you'll be? Let's make it all happen. Well, you can allow it to happen.
And you're fighting against a plan that it doesn't have any compromise in it. So,
right. And how's the song go? It goes, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
It's not, you're going to paddle upstream and you're going to get there at
really
exactly
hard,
2 o'clock.
You're going to muscle it in and you're going to make it happen. Well,
This is a philosophy.
And there's people that buy into certain parts of it, and there's people that buy into other parts of it, and there's people that, get the whole thing, and that's cool. But it doesn't matter. None of that matters. It's still your innate intelligence running your body. It's still your subconscious running your body. It's still fight or flight and rest and digest. It's still always in balance. It's just how balanced you are. And how are you helping it be in balance? Are you trying to make it out of balance?
So if you're saying to yourself, I want to be happy, I want to take responsibility for my health, I want to eat well because I know it will make me feel good, I want to forgive, and I want to try to curb my anger and try to take a breath and like things like that would cause stress on all kinds of levels. If someone's doing that, if they're just like really looking at that, you're saying that their health is going to be improved.
Oh, sure it is. The main thing there is to forgive yourself. That's number one. Forgive yourself. So forgiving yourself is really, really important because a lot of people are holding grudges against themselves, and that's what makes them sick. Because they can't forgive themselves for some of the things that they've done or said. Oh my gosh, how many times have I said something I shouldn't have? I have to forgive myself, otherwise I'm going to be holding myself hostage. And that's no fun. And it makes you ill. And the other part of that is, if you're okay with yourself, then the rest of it's all just gravy. And getting to know yourself and what you like and what you don't like is a big part of it. In women, we see a lot of people who are people pleasers. They're just trying to make sure everybody's okay because they've taken on that role for some reason.
And then they kind of lose themselves.
Yeah, and they don't have any idea what they want or what they like. And the other part of that is then they model that behavior to their children.
Right.
And that's a hard thing to get over, because if you don't know what you like and what feels good, then how are you gonna just keep going on?
And so instead of just popping the pill, take some time out for yourself and look inward.
Breathe.
And try to get to the root. And you're taking a trip to Belize, and you're going to be doing some healing work there?
Yep. In Belize, the children all take a test in 8th grade. If they don't pass, they don't go on. So one of the things that the need was filled to have a school there to help kids who are poor and don't have the resources to be able to pass this test. And so we're going to go down there. The couple that's running the school right now is from Iowa, and we're going to go down there in April, and we're going to work on everybody. And we're going to do a healthcare class, kind of like what we talked about today. I'm going to teach them about it, and we're just going to work on everybody that wants to get worked on, and families and the kids and everything. So we're doing that April 13th to the 20th. We'll be going down there. I'm excited about it. Taking healing out to the world is really important.
It seems like, you know, your underlying mission and all that you're doing is just to help people find happiness and comfort and health
Yeah,
in their lives.
pretty much. That's my job. It's a good job.
Well, it's been great talking with you. Thank
Yeah,
you
thanks.
for breaking it all down and explaining your philosophy.
Thanks a lot, Katie. I appreciate you having me.
Community voice.
Nah. Are you a city is? What? Are you a city is? Are you a city is?